Let's get all sorted. I'm James.
And I'm Jeff. And today we walk through an interdimensional portal. Hey, James.
Hey, Jeff.
Well, it's LEGO Dimensions Week.
It is.
And this is, I think, sadly, the last episode of our LEGO Dimensions Week.
Which will air second.
It's not the last episode. No. Oh, my goodness.
It's the second episode.
That's right.
It's going to be a long week.
It's really confusing when you're messing with time and space, like LEGO Dimensions does.
It does. It just ties your brain in knots. So we're recording across all three of our podcasts this week about LEGO Dimensions. So
correct.
In our Breaking Dads podcast, we talk about it as a game anticipation.
Yes.
And us growing up with it, and then the anticipation both for us and for our children for this thing. And in our other podcast, Epic Gumdrop, we talk about it as a game.
Yes.
Whereas in this one, we're going to talk about it a little bit more as Lego.
That's right.
So breakingdads.com if you want to hear about it in those other forms.
Breakingdads.com?
Breakingdads.com, Jeff. It's a good place. You'll find all kinds of fun things.
Yes.
Words.
And if you want to share with me your LEGO Dimensions stories, you can do that on Twitter. I'm at Still Sorting.
Excellent.
I'm really excited. I got the.
You got your handle right?
I got the handle right. Yeah. Like I didn't have to stop and think about it this time. It's really the people at home have no idea how much difficulty I have with that. Thanks to James and his clever editing skills. Seamless.
I just keep a bank of. I make you say words and then I just copy and paste them into the audio files. If only you knew the things he says.
The worst part is I'm actually not a physical human being. I'm just a construct of words that James has recorded in public places, and then
you don't even know English
in order.
No,
for me to say sentences.
Yes.
Anywho, it's LEGO Dimensions Week.
Yeah,
woo!
And
we're excited because LEGO Dimensions is here and it exists in my house as a thing, and it is awesome.
Clickety clack.
So like James was saying, we'll review the game itself in our game podcast, Epic Gumdrop. But this is the Lego podcast, so let's talk about the Lego.
How's the Lego?
It's pretty good. Now, we should start off by saying I think this will set a record for worst price per piece of any Lego set. Because it's nice. Right on the box, they list it as, hold on, let me get the box.
What's it?
Is 269 pieces for only $99.
Now, I wonder if they count the studs on the portal thing, whatever they call it.
I did not check it out if that counts as a piece or not. But in terms of Lego pieces,
I guess the pieces you put on it.
Yes, I think that's what they're talking about. But for $99, you do get 269 pieces, and so that's only about 38 cents a piece.
Right.
So a little bit of premium there.
Not economical if you don't have a television, and this isn't for actual gameplay. This is just as a brick purchase. Probably not your wisest choice.
No, you could do better.
The minifigure variety.
It does come with 3 minifigures. Yeah. That's right. None of them are exclusive to this set though, and that's a problem.
So they definitely.
I'm not sure. Wild Style's face might be different than one they've produced before, but I'm not 100% certain on that.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I will investigate that when I'm done playing the game, which is going to be a while.
But never.
Possibly never. But okay. So the portal itself. Let's talk about that because that's the first big build you have. Now, this is also the portal is the only thing they give you an instruction book for actually building.
Right.
They do give you one in the game as well, but you can pre-build it as it is a bit of a longer build, more involved build than all the mini builds in the fun packs and such. And it's a fun build. It's a nice build. I did it with children, so I don't know if that affects
a factor of 12.
It was short but longer than they would have liked, and I think that's why they include the instructions. If you're playing with kids, feel free to pre-build that before the gameplay because you're literally just getting into game. Like it's all cutscenes before you build the portal. There's not a lot of gameplay, so you may want to help them out.
Yeah,
by doing that ahead of time.
It looks cool. It looks fiddly.
When I was building it, I'm like, I don't know how solid this is, but like all Lego builds, they solid it up as you go, and it's relatively robust for a large circular interdimensional portal.
that you can rebuild if you break.
Yeah, and I've already seen online people doing their own versions of the portals and improvements to the portals and just changes to the portals. And I mean, it's Lego. Just because they give you these pieces in the box does not mean that you're stuck using them.
You drop that in the Lego community, and within 15 minutes, somebody else is just...
Exactly. And then it becomes my portal's better than your portal.
That's awesome.
You get portal envy, and it's just all...
That's probably a website as we speak.
Yes.
portalenvy.com.
But it's a good build. It's a fun build. It looks nice.
It does.
And it's my kids love that it looks like the in-game thing, and that's always nice when you can do that.
It looks technical, which is what it needs. It can't look clunky, I guess. So it needed to be kind of elegant and sparse on the parts.
Yeah. I'd say that's valid. All of the words you said there.
I used thank you. Those are all indeed words.
Yeah, I'm just checking you for I'm like the early versions of spell check. I'm just literally seeing that your spelling is correct. No context clues whatsoever. Yeah.
So
I don't. If by the way, if I sound a little off today, I think I've just been playing too much of the game.
You guys have, you're very soaked in game.
Like when I close my eyes, I see the game. Is that a?
I think
is
your
that
children
a problem?
are walking around in a brick land. At the moment.
I don't know
It's
if
just a
they're
haze.
learning anything at school today.
Their teacher's like, why do they keep poking in the air and doing smashing stuff? I don't understand this.
Yes. I think they're just counting out the minutes to come home and play the game again.
Yeah.
Is that?
That is valid.
But yes.
So after you build the portal and you get into the
build
builds in the game itself, it's a little bit different.
Yes, all of the mini builds, including the Batmobile that comes with the starter set, are all built in game,
Which is
so
pretty neat.
It's very cool because it is a Lego game that concentrates on the Lego. So it says, "Hey, you're playing this game, but stop playing for a sec and make this, and you will like it when you're done." And you do.
Stop playing and go play. And then come back and play some more.
So the Batmobile itself is a nice little toy. What I really like is it's Lego, so they got to concentrate on zoomability. So if you take it off of the toy tag, you can drive around
that
I like. Batmobile. Yeah,
that's very
and
cool.
that's and my kids have they have been doing that.
Yeah.
When they're because it's a 2-player game, so when they're not playing the game, they're playing with the toys, and I like that. I think that's it shows. Hey, we're Lego. We're a toy first.
Exactly.
But watch what you can do with these toys.
The one thing that I've always disliked about the portal-based games where you put stuff on whatever they call
the Skylanders,
it.
the Disney Infinity. Yep.
I don't like that if you kind of get past the stale date on it, or the kids lose interest. You've now got a bunch of weird figurines cluttering up a bin.
Yep. For an old obsolete game, so you can't even sell them.
It's just landfill.
Yeah. Yep.
And that really frustrated me about the way gaming was moving. I was like, oh, how many landfills are filled with Skylanders? Or
will be, because it's a very successful game.
Yeah.
And you don't see them used for sale at least not like at my EB. I'll see 1 or 2 Skylanders for sale.
Yeah.
But not a bunch, nowhere near as many as they've sold.
Well, and you look at the demographic of who's buying them.
Yeah.
Kids get them for gifts probably for Christmases and birthdays. They don't go to EB Games and buy you Skylanders. So it's a weird thing. Whereas this is a toy.
Yep.
And when you pull it off its little base, you got a little base, sure, but you can use that base in the game continually. But then no matter what, even if the game you somehow magically burn the game out, and you got Lego.
Not only that, because these bases connect with Lego, I'm pretty sure we're going to see mocks using the toy tags and the minifigure bases in builds in the future, because that's what Lego people do.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, you've given us a part, okay, we're going to use it. Totally. And that's it'll be very exciting. And I agree. Yeah, that's the nice thing is, at 10 years from now, and you've stopped playing Lego Dimensions, and your kids have stopped playing Lego Dimensions, you have all that Lego, and you've built something else with it.
I wonder if in say down the road, some years from now, this being the third of the prongs of the Lego experiments they've been trying with gaming,
right? Which you can hear more about on our Epic Gumdrop podcast.
What was the first one called? Lego Fusion?
Lego Fusion was one of the 3, yeah.
It'd be interesting to see down the road, just briefly, the idea that of you building a mock and then having some generic tag that you can use and somehow using Fusion and bring these kinds of toys into gameplay in some sort of future version of this. That would be pretty cool. I don't know if that's gonna become a thing or
that has to be a thing at some point in the future.
Just the convergence of all the things.
Yes, but it'll involve some sort of multi-camera setup. But the cameras will get so cheap that they'll build a Portal with a 4-camera setup that'll give it and scan it in, and they'll be able to identify pieces, and it'll be great. That's I think the one thing. Yeah, so you build the Batmobile and you put it on a toy tag, and it's the exact same tag as used on like the Portal Sentry or on Homer Simpson's car, and then you save that toy to that thing.
Yeah.
As you play the game, you can unlock different modes of that vehicle and rebuild it, and then you would save that rebuild to the tag. It doesn't necessarily. You don't actually have to change the physical toy. You can just save the tag. You can play without the toy.
Right.
And it would work.
Although the tags are not labeled, so unless you label them, you're going to have a pile of tags.
Yeah, I mean, but you tend to keep them attached to the things anyway. Or worst case scenario, you put, that's the wrong thing. You pop it off, you put the other one on. I don't think that's going to be a problem.
No.
But it does take away a little bit from the toys to life aspect.
Right.
All the minifigure tags are unique. So the base for Chell from Portal is different than the Batman one, and they're all labeled. So when you put that on, you always get that figure.
Right.
So it's a little bit different. So I don't know. I think I could see, the fact that 10 years ago I could not have conceived this whole Toys to Life thing.
I can't conceive of what's coming down the pipe in 10 years. Yeah.
I would be shocked if if Lego wasn't working on now and moving towards some sort of build it in real life, play with it in the game.
Procedurally generated world.
That's
what
Fusion
that has some kind of mixing all three of the ideas together.
Because Fusion was a good idea, but you really were only importing 2-dimensional versions of you were building facades. You weren't really building buildings or vehicles. So it wasn't quite there.
Yeah.
And I think that they have to be moving towards that, because Lego's very conscious of keeping the toys at the forefront of the experience.
Exactly.
And nothing would be better than
bring your mock into Lego World style play that has a plot or something.
Exactly. So we'll see where that is, and it's not this.
No.
But this is a pretty good compromise.
Well, it just shows you all the direction they're thinking in with all the new stuff. So it's a cool direction.
Yes. And as far as Lego goes, so the game itself, it wants you to buy everything.
Right.
And you may want to buy everything. But that gets a little pricey.
But do you have to buy everything? Technically.
To play the game, no. And again, in our Epic Gumdrop, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
As
a Lego fanatic.
As a Lego fanatic, it's weird because I've heard mixed messages about this. Some people are upset that there's not more exclusive minifigures, exclusive prints, exclusive molds used in it. The other side of the coin is, if you don't care about the game because they aren't exclusive, because Homer Simpson looks identical to the minifigure in the polybag that you could get for, $3, you don't need to spend the $25 to get the level pack that has Homer Simpson in it.
Yeah. So it would have been, they get accused of both things if they're not careful. So they would have been accused of a cash grab if they had just made a bunch of, and then they get accused of not giving enough. So they can't win. I think it's better to be accused of not giving enough than be accused of trying to, just take everybody's money.
Well, as we noticed, as we looked at it, there's going to be more exclusive molds coming out later.
Yeah.
Especially that last wave where you have Slimer as a minifigure.
Right.
Which does not exist. Now.
But Slimer might exist.
Now, they might be announcing a Ghostbusters HQ giant, massive 4,600 piece set.
That would be sweet.
Coming out, which would be sweet. Although I could just start my divorce proceedings now for what that's going to cost.
Begin filling out your mortgage papers.
Yes. I can refinance for that. I am buying a second home. And that might have the Slimer in it, and that might end up arriving sometime around the same time.
See that.
Yeah.
Same with even like the Doctor Who stuff or the other franchises they're going to be dipping into.
Well, because they've shown the minifig for Doctor Who, and it's not that Doctor. Unless I've completely mistaken it, which is entirely possible. I've been playing way too much video games, not sleeping.
It's all a blur.
Yeah. I think it's the Doctor before this Doctor, but it might be this Doctor. I'm not a Doctor Who guy.
It must
is
be
a problem. Yes. It must be this one, right?
I would think so.
Yeah, but I don't know. Weird. Regardless. Yeah, and a Stay Puft Marshmallow as a minifigure, I don't think they're going to include that in any set because the Stay Puft Marshmallow's not tiny normally.
Yeah.
So that, so as it goes forward, it looks like there is more exclusives. And if there is more exclusives, then you'll start to hear the other side of people lamenting the fact, like, now you're making me buy this, even though I don't care.
They've got to like March.
That being said, the people that have invested in the game and are playing the game will go, okay, good. That's another reason to get that set, that add-on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which could be why it's down the road. If they didn't get you right away, it might become a more attractive thing later on, especially once you've had more time to get exposed to it and hear other people raving about it. Maybe it becomes
yeah.
They're not making you feel stressed out about that decision right out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
You've got 6 months.
Yeah. So, the builds themselves that I've experienced they're good. They're quite nice. We ended up, just to let everyone know, at our house we bought the Portal level the level pack, the Simpsons level pack, and the Wizard of Oz fun pack. And for Canadian, I don't know what they are in the States. For Canadian pricing, it's $25 for a level pack and $15 for a fun pack. So a fun pack, you get a minifigure and you get a mini build, which would, if it was a polybag, be in the $5 or less range.
Yeah.
And the minifigure, if you can think of it like the minifigure series, those are $3.99 Canadian. So they're not tremendous value, except that you get to be able to play with them in the game.
Right, exactly.
Which ups it for sure. So I would say if you're a collector that's going to skip out on the games, you're probably going to want to skip out on these sets, unless you're a collector that has to have everything, in which case, good for you. Yeah. You're going to get them anyway. Stop whining.
But this will be a pricey addition to your collection that was not essential.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, to go in full tilt right now, what is that set?
If you just got everything that's available today, that came out on Sunday, $485 or $465, I think. $465 for Wave 1.
Huh.
Yeah.
And then down...
No, $485 for Wave 1. And then if you were to get everything that's been announced as it came out, it would be $585.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
so it's no, sorry, did I say $800?
$800, yeah.
Yes. I'm like, no, that's not right. It's much bigger than that.
That would be a steal.
Yes, you're looking at if you're lucky enough to live in Canada after taxes, about $1,000.
Right. Yeah.
Which is gross.
That's a large investment.
Yeah.
And that's only what's been announced.
Yes.
So ideally, there's more game that is expands all of that and justifies that outlay. But
ideally, they're going to give us minifigures of things they would never give us minifigures of going forward. I think Stay Puft Marshmallow is a great example. It's a minifigure that just would not exist if this game were not built. But the game is built, and we'll get it.
Yeah.
Right now, we have the Wicked Witch as a minifigure from Wizard of Oz. In the game, and that's always been the problem with these Lego video games, is they have beautifully rendered minifigure versions of characters that I obsess over and want.
Yeah.
Usually they're superheroes from the superhero games, but as we're playing this game, I'm watching it going like, I need to have Dorothy and the Scarecrow and the Tin Man and the Cowardly Lion. Like, I need to have those as things. Why do they not exist? Why are they only digital?
Yeah.
Why can't I get them right now? So if a Wizard of Oz pack came out in the future, probably buy it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's what we're hoping for. We'll see these more obscure characters get made just so you can play them in the game in the future. And then I think people that don't like the game would be happy, because if it's the only way to get something, you'll pay a premium for it. You'll be happy to get it.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. We'll see.
As an addition to the entire Lego universe, though, it's a nice thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good game.
It does what it set out to do. It does what it said it would do.
Yeah.
And those are both nice things. The mini builds, like I say, they're fun. One thing that put off collectors as people went out and bought them right away and opened it up. There are no instructions for the mini builds in the package.
They're all in game.
They're in game. Now, the Lego's already announced, hey, we'll put them up somewhere.
Right.
So if you're just a collector and you're never going to play the game, we'll tell you how to put the things together. I'm sure it's up by now because things move fast in the internet world. So even if Lego didn't put it up, somebody was going to put it up. So yeah, if you're concerned about will I be able to build this? I mean, first off, they're mini builds. There's not a lot of pieces. Yeah, you probably would have been able to thumb your way through it. Yeah. But even if you like the instructions, they're out there. That's another thing too. You can probably build a lot of the mini builds already with parts in your collection.
Right.
So you can go to town that way and not even have to buy them if you don't want the minifigure. Yes. So I like them. I like them as Lego. I like them as a game very much. They go together extremely well. And I keep telling myself I'm not going to buy everything. And I'm not. I'm not going to buy everything. But it'll be closer to everything than maybe my wife would like.
So did it live up to its marketing? Like, it was well marketed as a product. Very slick, very like, yeah, you'd be hard pressed to show that marketing material to somebody and for them to not want to at least be curious more about it.
Yeah, to at least see it.
Yeah.
I think it did for sure. I mean, from a technology standpoint, it works flawlessly in terms of how things move in and out.
Yeah.
Which is very nice. And it's Lego. I mean, like, it's the things we're doing on our desks and workstations and displays with our Lego already, but in digital form.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because all my Lego coexists and is working together already in all my displays, and when I play with them, I mean when my kids play with them. And so this just cranks it all to 11 and makes it all more real.
They knocked it out.
Yeah.
And from a manufacturing point of view, on the side of the box, it says to you, components made in Denmark, Hungary, Mexico, China, Taiwan, and the Czech Republic. So, I mean, the complexity of pulling together this product is bananas. It's just, So, again, Lego knows what it's doing when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Lego gets logistics because I can't, it baffles my mind how good they are at putting together the Lego sets and getting them to store shelves the way they do.
Without electronics.
And then now we're adding exactly an electronic component, which will be another factory in another place.
Yeah.
And it's there. Yeah.
Software, electronics, the whole package. So, it's impressive.
Yeah. I mean, terrible for the environment, but impressive.
Oh. So there's a lot of life in this, and the kids will, again, even if they somehow magically burn out the gameplay, they've got the toys.
Yeah. And I'd say if you're a Lego fan and not a video game fan, and you have no desire in picking this up, it's going to lead to pieces you would never get. The Portal is, I think, one of the greatest examples. There was no way Lego was ever going to actually license Portal. I mean, there's been Lego Ideas sets that have been there and passed the bar, and they just weren't going to make it because Portal is not. It's so far outside of Lego's realm.
Some of the other ones, Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo, then that's a weird question because the Scooby-Doo sets just came out.
Right.
But they've been working on this game for a couple of years. Yeah. They would have known they were going to do Scooby-Doo in it.
Right.
So do we have Scooby-Doo sets because this game exists, or do we have Scooby-Doo in the game because those sets exist? Well, the license is Warner Brothers.
Oh, right.
Warner Brothers owns TT Games. Right. Like, that's the other fun thing, because there's a lot of writing on the boxes.
The convoluted relationships.
All the trademarks are on these ones, because there's 14 different intellectual properties in this game. Yeah, and that's 14 licenses, a few of which they have not made at a Lego before.
There's hard drives filled with IP agreements.
Yes.
It's just bananas how much work that must have been to tie it up.
And Lego's they weren't going to make a Portal set.
No.
And yet,
here it is.
Here it is.
So, I guess even from a collector's point of view, it's nice that this has happened just for the opening up of those licenses.
Did we get the Ghostbusters Ideas set? Right. Did that get made? It passed the bar and they liked it, but there's been lots of things that have got the 10,000 votes and have been great builds that they didn't make.
Yeah.
Was part of the reason they made that set because they knew they were going to have the license in this. Or again, there's a lot of
chicken egg.
Yeah, and it's very interesting. But because this exists now, they might greenlight some things they might never have greenlit.
Right.
Because they can now justify, they knew they weren't going to sell enough of that mold to make the set worthwhile.
Yeah.
But when you factor in this, which has a much bigger reach, it's a game changer.
So, yeah, exactly.
It's a game
so it's exciting
changer.
for what it holds for the next couple of years here.
Yeah. And it's fun.
Yeah. Well, it was Lego Dimensions Week on all of our podcasts.
Yep.
So if you've enjoyed what we had to say here, or want to hear about it more as a game, or just hear us talk about wistfully back to our days of yore as little people. Believe it or not, we were small.
We were.
Same voices.
No, yeah, exactly.
Beards
Same
and
beards,
everything,
yeah.
But we were tiny.
Yeah.
Then in which case, check out our other stuff at breakingdads.com.
Breakingdads.com?
Breakingdads.com. And they can also go and visit you over on Twitter.
Yes. I am a twit. Is that right? Did I say that right?
You are a twit.
Yes.
Exactly.
And they can tweeter me? Is that...
They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
At Still Sorting.
At Still Sorting. Yeah, that's right.
I got it right this time?
Yeah. Well, we're very good at this.
Professionals.
We are.
Until then, I think we should go play some Lego Dimensions, Jeff.
Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah, let's do it now.